that's what I mean. You're
So
exposing yourself to someone underage.
so even in this setting, it's still illegal, no?
Mm. It should be.
Like, oh, let me do a show about drugs, and in the show I'm gonna document the effects of doing drugs, and in that show I'm gonna do 10 lines of cocaine in front of everyone. Well, that would be illegal, no? It doesn't matter if it's on a show. It's
Yeah.
still illegal.
Mm.
So what they do? What's the purpose of this program? Is it to educate these kids, or is it to blur the line between, like you said, paedophilia?
Yeah,
You
for
know, what's
sure.
illegal and what's legal, and also what's acceptable on TV.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're doing. I think the, you know, I think the reason like a lot of this stuff's being pushed is because they're trying to normalize it,
For real.
and they're trying to. I said this absolutely ages ago. I was like, if they're allowing people to identify as anything, um, without their, other than what they feel, based on what they feel, um, then people can say, well, oh, I don't feel 50, I feel
Mhm.
6. Like there was that story of that man, I think he's in Canada or something, where he was like 50 something years old and decided he was like a 6-year old or
Right.
an 8-year old or something, or something. Yeah, I think he decided he was 6, and then some couple adopted him and let him dress up like a little 6-year old girl, I think it was, potentially, and like hang out with their granddaughter.
God.
Now who's like, he's probably just a pedo, thinking of, like, of a really clever way to get
Probably
close
just
to
a
kid.
pedo.
Yeah. And the reality is, if he actually genuinely thinks he's 6 years old, well, then he needs to check into a mental institute,
Mm.
because he's obviously not 6 years old, because he's lived a life of 50 years of life.
Yeah.
Like nothing about you is 6 years old.
So how can like you're
So and I think this is just kind of in the same kind of realm, like, because exactly the way it's exactly how I said it. The way I think of it is, it's just adults exposing themselves to kids.
Mm.
First of all, as an adult, why would you be comfortable
Why
with
would you
that?
exactly?
And second of all, whose parents would allow their child to do that, to be part of something like that? That's just weird.
There's just so many question marks around the whole thing. There's the question marks over the show and why it is what it is. Question marks that why have the parents allowed their kids to be on this show and do that? Like, would you not be more comfortable if you wanted? Let's say these parents genuinely wanted to educate their children.
Mm.
Your mum and dad, show them your Dick and Fanny. Do you know? Do you know
I
what I
mean, I guess
mean?
you could.
Like, no, would that not be more? That's a more mature, safer kind of setting because you're not pedos, you're the parents. Surely that's more your duty if that's how you feel that you want to educate them. Show them yourself. Hi,
Mm.
this is what a male penis looks like. See, it's got pubes. Yours hasn't got it yet. Here's mum's. This is what hers looks like. Like,
I mean, yeah, I guess you could go down that
I
road.
still think it's weird. Don't get me wrong. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that's what I think is the right thing to do, but
But if you're so invested in, like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
help my kid, yeah, I guess
Rather than putting it to a stranger who you don't know what their intentions
tension
are.
is,
Like
yeah.
they could be pedophiles. They could be they could be doing it for sexual, like, degeneracy, and they're getting a kick out of it. And
Yeah.
you've like exposed your kid as part of this thing where they're getting a kick out of it.
Yeah. I think it's super weird. I think, if they can show it to 14 to 16-year olds, then who's to show it? They won't show it to younger people.
One's 13
And
next,
and
then
where's
12.
and where's the line? Like, where do you draw the line? If say, for example, if I was like 15 and walking down the street and some man got his dick out and showed it to me, that would, that's an offense.
Literally.
He would probably go to jail for that
Ex-
or something,
It'd be getting community and put on the sex register at least.
because that's inappropriate. And I think, I think that the whole, obviously we've not watched the show, and we don't know the exact in and out details of how it's going to work. But I imagine it's not that different to,
To the naked
yeah.
attraction, yeah.
But it's just a wild concept. Like, who thought that was a good idea? If you're so concerned, about, like, educating kids, there's lots of other ways of doing it.
Yeah.
There's like so many other ways of doing it.